Okay, good day. So, this would be our, sa lahat ng mga takers ng licensure examination for registered criminologists. So, mabuhay kayo and congratulations, even though, yeah, you're gonna take pa lang. Pero somehow, malaki yung chance na papasa tayo, no? So, yun, here are my last minute tips in all areas. I'm Denden Obra. So, yun. Without any further ado, start na tayo para matapos tayo, no? So, ano yung legal doctrine na parens patriae? What does it mean? Diba? So, syempre, pag sinabi parens patriae, so, parang, ano yan eh, parents is parang, just Latin word, diba? So, milagyan nyo lang ng code na parang parents, magulang yan, ganon. So, that is father of the country. So, yan yung the government, diba? Wait lang yung logo. So, refers to the series of activities which are designed to address issues that cause the child to commit an offense. So, ito yung sa juvenile justice system, diba? It may take form of individualized treatment program which may include counseling, skills training, education, and other activities that will enhance his or her psychological, emotional, and psychosocial well-being. So, ano yun? Pag, yan, ang code natin dyan, kapag may kasamang, pag-form siya ng individualized treatment program na kasama ng education, counseling, skills training. So, yan ay intervention. Okay? B. What do you call a juvenile act that committed by an adult will not result to any prohibited or even demeanor act? Pag ginawa to ng mga matatanda, hindi siya kaparu-parusa. Pero pag ginawa ng mga bata, di ba? It has a penalty. So, what do we call? That is? Correct. That's C. Status offenses. That alam nyo na yan. No? 13 years old, having drinking spree of alcohol beverages. So, that's minor. So, anong tawag doon sa ginawa niya? That is status offenses. Because he or she is just only a minor. Ito yung process ng documents and paper expeditiously, that all official papers and documents must be processed and completed within the reasonable time from preparation thereof. So, the official next in rank or officer in charge shall sign for and their behalf for how many signatories? Natuturo natin to sa Leia, di ba? So, correct. That's letter B. Okay, tandaan nyo po, not more than 3 signatories. Sa APA format ng text citation, kung merong 3 o mahigit pang author na ginamit, at ginamit lang only ang last name, at yung ng last name ng first author, ano yung isusunod natin doon? Kasi hindi naman pwede na lahat ng apelyido ng mga author ng particular research ilalagay natin doon, mapupuno, diba? So, ano yung ilalagay doon? So, correct. That's B. That's et al. Ano ang number 1 objective o main objective ng Republic Act 6713 or yung Code of Conduct and Ethical Standard for Public Officials and Employees? Eto, sa mga ganitong question, hindi ko alam kung tinatamad yung mga takers. Hindi na po nila binabasa. Kaya mostly, yung mga maling question, most ng mga takers ay nagkakamali sa mga question na madadami ang pagpipilian. Mga ganito. Diba? So, yun. Ethics talaga or mga ganito, mga scenario type na kasi ang board exam natin, you have to expect na ganito may kita nyo, ha? So, ano po ang main objective ng RA 6713? course, no other than letter C. Tama, no? To promote a high standard of ethics in public service. Kasi, diba, alam naman natin, in public service, there are on the, parang, mas ang laki ng temp or chance, parang ando na yung, to engage in corruption, diba? Kasi, diba, parang ando na halos yung tukso. It proposes that people internalize moral codes more through the process of socialization. So, andyan na mismo sa question nyo, nasa mismo na question na yung sagot. So, that's social learning theory. Anna is very kind. She always helps people in need. So, this exemplifies to, what does it exemplifies? That's letter, very good, that's letter D, altruism. You know what? Nung ako ay magbo-board exam, I'm always only relying videos on YouTube. Talaga. Kasi I don't have money to, to enroll myself in reviews. But I don't say na you have to make that excuses for yourself. Kung meron naman. Pero kung wala, di ba, we can't force anything or anyone kung magpaka meron kung wala. So yun, wala lang lang. So Freddy hearing, nakakanig siya ng mga boses sa kanyang ulo, no? Napatay mo yung kuya mo, patay mo yung kapatid mo. Ano kayang nararanasan ni Freddy? That's hallucination. Characterized by exaggerating self-importance and preoccupation with receiving attention. Ang hirap ng mga taong may ganito, as in, no? That is, parang nakakaubos ng energy ng mga ganitong tao. Yung may mga narcissistic personality. Yung parang ang laki-laki ng nila sa sarili nila, di ba? Gusto nila sila lang yung pinapansin, gusto nila sila lang importante. Basta. Napaka-narcissistic nila. So, ito yun ha. Pag sinabi natin paranoid personality disorder, tingnan nyo lang yung mga yung mga codings natin. Pag paranoid yan, kinaka-characterize silang suspicious, diba? Rigidity, envy, hypersensitivity, excessive self-importance, argumentativeness, and tendency to blame others of their own mistakes. Sila na yung may kasalanan, isisisi pa nila sa iba. Diba? Tapos, ang laki-laki ng parang, may tawag dito, pa-victim, ganun. Sobrang laki ng, nila sa sarili nila. Binibigyan nilang importansya na, tapos sobrang sensitive nila na pagka may konting scenario lang, nakasalanan naman talaga nila kung ba't nag-react ka ng ganun. Isisisi nila sa'yo, yung reaction mo sa kasalanan ginawa nila. Gets nyo? That's paranoid personality disorder. Mga kilala kong ganyan. Madali nyo naman yan para hindi kayo mahirapan. Paranoid personality disorder yan. Si ganito yan. Mga ganon. Diba? Hindi ka pa nahirapan, diba? Pag schizoid personality disorder, ang coding lang dyan is hindi niya kayang mag-form ng social relationship at wala siyang interest na gawin yun. Okay? The person seems to express their feelings. They lack social skills. They're so-called loners. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na kung loners ka, diba, is may schizoid personality disorder ka. What is trying to imply is hindi niya talaga kayang magkaroon ng social relationship dahil ayaw niya din. Okay? Pag loners kasi, kulang lang sila ng social skills. Pero, kaya nila. Okay? Baka kayo, loners, schizoid. Hindi. Kasi disorder yun eh. You can do social relationship. Then, tapos isa pa, ayaw mo din gawin. Diba? We're a social being. Diba? And yet, hindi mo ginagawa. Kasi ayaw mo. Diba? Another type is schizotypal personality disorder. Ang coding lang dito is there are superstitious thinking in common. They are characterized by seclusiveness, over sensitivity, and they're avoiding communication. Basta may makita kayong superstitious thinking is common, ano na yan, yun na yun. Yun yung halos pinagkaiba nila with other personality disorder. Yet, nga, medyo may pagkadikit sila na ayaw nito ni schizotypal na magkaroon ng communication sa iba. At sensitive din siya, katulad ni, schizoid. Pero, pinagkaiba nila, superstitious thinking si schizotypal. So, pag sinabi natin yung superstitious, yung mga paniniwala na nasosobrahan na, 'di ba? Yung mga paniniwalang superstitious beliefs like engkanto, duwende, mga nakikitang mga maligno, mga hugyan. Sabihin, hugyan, may kalaban. O kaya yung palang kalaban ay may nakikita daw siyang mga nakapasok na sa Encantadia to si no? Pag histrionic personality disorder naman, kinakarakteristik, ang meron dito is immature siya. At with self-dramatization, immature, sobrang nag-excite, yung emotion niya hindi stable, at yun, self-dramatization. Pag narcissistic, sobrang exaggerated ng kanilang self-importance in the highest level na talaga, yung todo-todo na, and preoccupation with us receiving attention. Gusto nila sila lang yung bida, like magkukwento ka, diba? Like magkukwento ka na, alam nyo, muntik na ako mamatay, nasagasaan ako, buti na lang nakaligtas ako, so dapat diba yung attention mapupunta dun sa kaibigan nyo na halos mamatay na. Pero ito si narcissistic personality, hala, grabe na, hindi ka nag-iingat kasi ako, diba? Nung nasagasaan ako, hindi ako naggaganyan-ganyan. Yung ganon. Gusto niya, yung attention, always on him or her. Pangit ang ganon, no? Pero, yeah. Somehow, may kakilala kayo siguro ganyan, diba? Pag borderline personality disorder, kinakarakterize sila is as with the drastic mood shift. Pag may drastic mood shift, borderline yan. And they have behavior problems. Yung mga taong ganito, usually nagde-display sila o pinapakita nila yung parang super galit na galit sila sa konting pananakit lang or konting provocation lang, like nasanggi mo lang, sobrang galit na galit. And he is also impulsive, hindi mo ma-predict ang ugali, and periodically unstable talaga ang ugali. Pag avoidant personality disorder, tandaan nyo lang, hypersensitivity sila sa rejection and apprehensiveness, alertness to any sign of social derogation. Person is reluctant to enter in social interaction. So, avoidant from the word itself, sila na yung nag-a-avoid ng sarili nila kasi although siguro nasasaktan silang i-reject ng iba, 'di ba? Parang andali nilang basahin na hindi siguro ako bet nito, ganyan. Ayaw ko na lang makipagkapwa-tao, ayaw ko na lang makipag-usap, ganyan. Dependent personality disorder, characterized to with extreme dependence on the other people. Ito yung di ba, pangit na super silang nagdedepende sa ibang tao, di ba? There is acute discomfort and even panic to be alone. Ayaw nilang nag-iisa, di ba? The person lacks confidence and feel helpless pag mag-isa sila. So, baka sabihin niya, extrovert. Hindi. Ang extrovert can stand alone, di ba? Nakakuha lang siguro siya ng social energy or yung lakas niya is coming from social interaction. But this one, dependent personality disorder na siya, di ba? Personality disorder. So, hindi siya yung normal na sobra siyang natatakot at nagpapanik pag mag-isa. So, dapat may kasama siya. Ang pangit kasi sa ganito is pati yung mararamdaman niya, nakadepende na dun sa ibang tao. So, kung malungkot yung malungkot yung kasama niya, malungkot din siya, masaya kasama, diba? Ganon. Passive-aggressive personality disorder naman, ito yung hostile express in indirect and non-violent ways. Diba? Tinatawag silang stubborn. So, the individual with this personality disorder ay usually, ang nangyayari sa kanila, they are overindulged in many things during the early years. Na to the extent na yung tao is comes to anticipate that his need will always be met and gratified. Compulsive personality disorder, ang meron dito is there are excessive concern with rules, order, and efficiency. That everyone does things their ways and ability to express warm feeling. The person is over conscientious, serious with difficulty in doing things for relaxation. With antisocial personality disorder naman, it characterized by continuing violation of rights of others through excessive and antisocial behavior without of remorse and loyalty to anyone. So, again, ipapaliwanag ko. Sorry minsan, dire-diretso yung basa ko kasi sa utak ko na diintindihan ko na siya eh. Yes, sige. Pag antisocial personality disorder, gumagawa na siya ng nagiging pasaway na siya in a way na nababiolate niya na yung mga karapatan ng iba kasi nga agresibo siya. Diba? Hindi na siya nakokonsensya at wala siyang loyalty sa kahit na kanino. Okay? Kaya talaga mahalaga na ma-diagnose. Mahirap kasi ito, may ganito ako. Kinlay mo na, ganyan ako, ganito ako, may ganito ako. Diba? You cannot say it unless you diagnose na you have to, feeling mo may ganyan ka, diba? So, you have to make yourself check by professionals, diba? Pag compulsive personality disorder naman, parang super concerned siya sa mga rules and order. Minsan, ang sagwa din nito kasama kasi napaka-KJ nila. Like, hala, bawal yan. Hala, baka makulong tayo. Hala, baka Lagi siyang ganon. So, lagi siyang stress sa konting gagawin na, hala, bawal yan, hala. Diba? So, ganon. Parang nahihirapan siyang mag-relax. Like, hala, bawal kaya dito. Hala, paano tayo niyan? Ganon. Super worry niya lagi. Passive-aggressive personality naman is hostile siya to express indirect and non-violent ways. Diba? Ito yung parang mga stubborn, yung parang mga irritable. Ganon. So, itong mga ganitong disorder, all of this, dito normal kaya nga personality disorder to diba? Sila na parang super indulge sila sa maraming bagay during nung kabataan nila. To the extent na parang nakikita na or na-anticipate na nila na yung pangangailangan nila dapat makuha nila at mag-gratify nila. So, ganun. So, parang nagwawala sila. Nagiging violente sila para makuha lang nila yung gusto nila. Na siguro nung bata sila ganun, tas tinuloy-tuloy na nila. Na, kaya madali ko lang pala makuha yung gusto ko. Iyakan ko lang to, magwala lang ako. Pangit, diba? Siguro ginagawa ng bata yan, pero if you're, a well-grown man or woman, diba? And you continuing doing this, then there is already disorder. So, yan. Ito. Format ng thesis writing na most commonly used to cite sources sa social science. Ano ang sagot? Siyempre, that is APA, American Psychological Association. APA format yan. Ganun, diba? Ito yung tinatawag na blueprint natin sa study na nag-guide sa collection, measurement, and analysis of data. Ano ang blueprint? That is research design, diba? That's letter D. Students, takers, madami na pong question ang lalabas na may thesis. Okay? Criminological research sa board exam. Kasi nga, malaki ang weight niyan eh. Diba? Balik sa. So, this is attempt to remove uncertainty from the future. That is predict. Diba? May bago tayong kind ng intelligence. Share ko lang. Na, di ba, may mga tao matalino sa music, may mga tao matalino sa naturalistic, linguistic, di ba? Ano ba? Sa mathematics, matalino sa ano, pero may bago ng uri ng talino, intelligence, kaya ang multiple intelligence. Na halos kaya niya nang i-predict yung na-anticipate niya na agad yung mangyayari based on the naranasan ng ibang tao. Parang kung ba may naranasan yung ibang tao, automatic yung parang nag-aano na yung sa utak niya, nagle-layer na yun, na para pag umulit, alam niya na yung pwede mangyari. So, yun. Wala, share ko. Kasi baka may kakilala kayong ganon, di ba? Institution of passive and active security measure as well as the remedy or solution of establishing factors and or securities of laws leading to such crises and emergencies. So, that is prevention, di ba? Remedy and solution. Na nag-establish ka ng factors, di ba? Diba, prevention is better than cure. Ito, isang uri ng fraud na kung saan yung writer pinipresent yung ideas o gawa ng ibang tao na sasabihin niya, akin to. So, that is plagiarism. And if you're going to see or intercept again the question na kung may kulong ba ang plagiarism, you have to answer yes, may kulong. Okay? There are atavistic according to Lombroso because they have inherited their criminal tendency. So, ano yan? There are born criminals. See, very good. That's the Bible per se pa lang yan, di ba? Behavior that departs from social norms is otherwise known as. Ano yon? Ano yon? Yung nagde-divide sa'yo sa social norms o yung norms ng social, yung normal to. Pero pag hindi mo na to ginawa, that's hindi na normal. That is deviant. Okay. Pag ginugol mo yung deviant is pasaway, hindi sumusunod sa norms. Ganyan. In the mitigating circumstance, ang age doon ng minor is below 18. Diba? Diba? What about senility? That's 70 and above. C. Ito, anyone can be a victim of crime or be a criminal for a crime. Ano yung principle na yan? That is, crime is pervasive. Ha? Huwag kayong hindi ba crime is general? Di ba ginagamit ang crime is general if the punishment. Okay, di ba? Punishment is for everyone. Di ba? Ganun. Pero kapag anyone can be a victim of a crime or be a criminal of a crime, that's crime is pervasive. Ito, it means na developing general summary statement base sa observation ng homogenized group of criminals and categorized based on their age, sex, current offense, personality type, and social class. So, ano ang tawag doon? That's typology. Okay? Sa research niyan, di ba? Nakikita niyo yan. Ito yung machinery, paulit-ulit na lang to. Ito yung machinery o ginagamit ng gobyerno para mag-enforce ng rules of conduct na kinakailangan para maproteksyonan ang buhay, kalayaan, property, at ma-maintain ang kapayapaan at kaayusan. Alam niyo na yan. That's first year things, criminal justice system. Criminology is also related to the study of what? Behaviors or those actions that depart from social norms, values, beliefs, and custom. Ano yon? Ito ay study ng deviant behaviors. Okay? What is the theory in criminal law which we're in? Yung exercise po ng free will. Oh, free will na yan agad. Oh. Alam mo na kung ano yan. is recognized, however, yung mga tao ay nakakakumit pa rin ng crime contrary to his volition, no? Kahit hindi niya gusto, nagagawa niya pa rin daw. Ano doon tawag doon sa school of thought na yan? That is eclectic. Okay, that's C. What type of criminal possesses atavistic tendency? Ano yung mga criminal na merong atavistic tendency? Sino yan? There are the born, di ba? Pinanganak na silang may atavistic stigmata na meron na, di ba? Kaya naging ganun sila. Ano ang hindi elemento ng classical criminology? Alin dyan ang hindi elemento ng classical criminology? That is, ito ha, isasin natin. B tayo. B, crime is attractive when it promises great benefits with little effort. Classical, di ba? People have free will to choose lawful solution to meet their needs or settle their problems. Classical, di ba? Crimes may be controlled by fear of punishment. Sabi, 'di ba? Classical 'yon. Kaya nga 'di ba, kung ayaw mo gumawa ng krimen, ayaw mong masaktan, hindi ka gagawa ng krimen. Ganyan ang classical eh. Kaya kung ginawa mo 'yan, nagnakaw ka, gusto mong masaktan. Ganon. So, letter A ay hindi po classical, that is positivist kasi they are using the use of scientific method in explaining phenomenon like criminal behavior. Okay, that's A. Ano yung concept or principle ng criminology na synonymous with term of conflict perspective? Ano yon? Synonymous, halos same definition. That is radical na criminology. That's C. Radical criminology. Ito yung grounds para tanggalin o i-suspend ang isang board chairperson o miyembro, 'di ba, ng ating profesyon. Alin dito yung hindi grounds para matanggal ka? Diba? Alin dito yung mga hindi kasama para matanggal ka? Una, tignan natin dito. Manipulation or ringing of result in licensure examination for criminologists. Matatanggal ka dun? Hindi. Matatanggal ka dun, di ba? Ikalawa, gross neglect, incompetence, or dishonesty in the discharge of one's duty. Matatanggal ka bilang isang registered criminologist o hindi? Matatanggal, di ba? Manipulation or ringing of result in licensure examination for criminologists, disclosure, secret, confidential information examination question prior to the conductor of or tampering of grades. Tampering of grades, oh my gosh, kung miyembro ka ng board, di ba? Matatanggal ka, hindi? Matatanggal, ba? So, ang natira na lang natin is the commission of any crime involving moral turpitude. Hindi ka matatanggal as board chairperson or member ng ating profession. So, ito po yung mga itong apat na to. Kasi 'di ba sa ating Republic Act 8981, kailangan may final judgment kung nakagawa ka ng crime with moral turpitude, 'di ba? Sa Commission of Conduct of any investigation, kailangan mayroon ng final judgment. Nakalagay yan sa Section 7S ng Republic Act 8981, the Rules Administrative Investigation Applicable Provision of the New Rules of Court. Okay? Ito, tingnan nyo ha. Sa inyo to. Number 1, gross neglect, incompetence, or dishonesty in discharge of one's duty. commission of any cause, grounds, or prohibited acts provided in this act, offenses in revised penal code against in revised penal code, the Anti-Graft Corruption Practices Act and other laws. At ikatlo, yung nagmamanipula ka, nagre-ring ka ng mga resulta ng licensure examination para sa criminologist, dinidisclose mo yung mga secret at mga confidential information such as mga sagot, di ba? Pati mga questions bago mag-exam, di ba? O tinatamper mo yung mga grades para may pumapasa, di ba? Next question. Motorists sometimes forget to lock their vehicles or may unintentionally leave their cellular phones behind. In doing so, they become victims of a crime. So, anong tawag sa gantong ginagawa ng mga biktima? Based on the scenario that we have discussed. Ano yun? Is it provocation? Is it victim administration? Is it victim precipitation? Or victim facilitation? So, the sagot is letter D, diba? This is an example of victim facilitation. So, they're the one who facilitating to become them as the victim. Kasi, diba, pinakalimutan nila na i-lock yung sasakyan. Iniiwan nila yung phone nila dun sa sasakyan. Even it's not intentional. Next question. Which of the following does not characterize anomy? Alin dito yung hindi natin matatawag na anomy? So, ano yung anomy? It's normal, 'di ba? Normal siya. So, 'yon. Tingnan natin yung B. It is conflict within the norm itself. So, it's anomy, 'di ba? C, it's an ability to adjust on changing norms. That's anomy. D, it's failure of the individuals to internalize the norms of the society. So, that's anomy. Diba? Kasi, pag sinabi kasi natin anomy, di ko kaya sabi nila ang crime is anomy. So, we cannot erase all of the crimes. Kahit super effective na kung ano-ano ng mga nilagay natin dyan, super dami na mga police, na mga kung ano-ano to prevent the crime, still the crime is still there because it's anomy. It's normal, diba? So, ito, A ay hindi natin makakarakterize sa anomy kasi it's ability to adjust easily to changing norms, which is not. Okay? Hindi madaling mag-adjust sa pabago-bagong norms, diba? Which is not function. Next question na tayo, how which is not function and consequence of crime in society? It's not according to Emil Durkheim. Dati pala, akala ko si Emil Durkheim ay babae. Tapos sabi ko, Emily Durkheim. Yung pala lalaki ito, no? Lalaki po si Sir Emil Durkheim. So, balik tayo. No? Alin yung hindi function or consequence daw ng crime sa society? Sabi ni Emil Durkheim. Ito, nahin natin letter A. Society becomes vigilant. That's function, sorry. That's function and consequence ng crime society, ha? Nagiging vigilant po na yung society. Nagiging vigilante na sila sa mga nangyayari. Kasi nga, di ba, ready? Di ba? Ikalawa, it creates unity in the society. Consequence ba siya at function siya ng crime society? Oo, di ba? Nagkakaroon ng pagkakaisa yung mga na society na pagkakaisa na mag-ingat kasi mayroong krimen, ganyan-ganyan, di ba? C, disintegration and disunity of the society. Hindi yan function. Okay? Kasi hindi nagkakakanya-kanya yan. Magkakaisa yan, di ba? And D, society decide what behavior must be prohibited. Yun po yung function ng or consequence ng crime sa society. Diba? Dahil may crime, napag-iisipan na ng society kung alin yung mga ugali o mga behavior na dapat hindi natin gagawin, para hindi tayo maging biktima ng krimen, di ba? Katulad ng huwag kang magsusuot ng mga mamahaling gold sa mga mamahaling alahas, di ba? Huwag kang magpo-post ng kung ano na sa social media, ng tungkol sa yaman mo or ano-ano, di ba? Huwag kang maglalakad ng 10 oras ng gabi na, di ba? Kung ano-ano, di ba? Ilak mo yung bahay mo, ganyan-ganyan. So, sila yung nagde-decide. Yung society na yung nagde-decide kung ano yung ugali na dapat natin gawin o hindi natin gawin. Diba? So, ganon. So, ang sagot dyan is disintegration and disunity of society. Alin sa mga sumusunod is the illusory superiority. Alin dito yung illusory superiority? That is smart. Okay? Smart. Oh my gosh. That is smart. Sige, wait lang ha. Kakape lang muna ako. Pause ko muna. Okay, ha, one of the effects ng illusory superiority sa IQ is the Downing effect. Tuloy na natin to. Ito yung act or process or practice ng settling a dispute in a court or of law. Okay, ito sa ano to ha, sa OADR, yung diba? OADR to, yung desperate resolution natin. Pinapakagana na natin talaga to kasi noon meron na nito talaga, pero syempre it's not yet implemented kasi for you to implement such law, rules or guidelines or memorandum, so what, kailangan budget, diba? Siguro hindi siya ganun kalaki yung budget kaya hindi siya na-implement, kaya akala na iba, may OADR na pala dati, may barangay justice system na pala dati, meron na, dati pa yan, diba? Kaso hindi siya ganun katalamak na alam ng mga tao dahil alam mo na, walang budget, and super dami na natin cases sa court na hindi naman halos din gumagalaw, depende yan sa city or municipality. Kaya talagang pinapa-under ng OADR. Kaya may mga na tayo dito, may mga volunteers na tayo dito na maging part ng litigation, mediation and arbitration, di ba? Kasi nga ganun nga. Okay? Ano yung tawag sa process or act or practice para ma-settle ang dispute sa court of law? That's litigation. Okay, A. Next question. Ito yung means any mediation process conduct under auspices of court or after such court has been acquired jurisdiction of the disputes. Ano yung tawag doon sa kung saan kinakonduct yun? Basta maka-acquire na yung korte na yon ng jurisdiction dun sa disputes na aayusin. So that is the court annex mediation. Letter B. Baka pumasok kasi ito sa board exam, ha? May mga libreng seminar ng OADR, di ba? So yun sa ano-anahin nyo rin ha, or may mga kamag-anak kayo na volunteer, di ba? You can just ask them. Next question. Hostage takers mobility to the smallest location in the building or exterior area and deny him the opportunity to observe the presence of police in their activities. Ano yung tawag dyan? That is letter B, contain. Ha? Sa mga hostage taking situation. With this, we have to take note the ISER methods. One, the I is isolate, diba? Keep onlookers beyond the safety line. Pag-seek that's contained begins within the confines of the inner perimeter and also allows time for crisis stabilization. E, evaluate, gather as much cursory information as possible because the original report may or may not be what the situation is. Kasi pa iba-iba ang diba sa mga hostage taking or crisis situation. We have to evaluate. And or report. Identify and confirm all the circumstances from the hostage taker to the hostages and data in form and for all the responding officer. That's the ICER methods. Sa thesis ulit, di ba? Research tayo ulit. Ito yung assume effect ng another variable, di ba? It is the change that occurs sa study ng population. Example nito, yung change na nangyari sa study ng population with one or more factors are changed or when the intervention is introduced. Anong tawag dun sa assume effect ng another variable? That is the letter B, the dependent variable. Very good. Ano yung symbol ulit na ginagamit sa mga multiple authors? We have et al. Which of the following exemplifies APA format? Alin dito sa masusunod ang nagpapakita ng APA format? Triple spacing ba? APA format? Hindi. Diba? Page margin are 2 inches of all sides. Is it APA format? Hindi. Pa rin, diba? So, C. Indent the first line of every paragraph 2.5 inches. Is it APA? Hindi, di ba? So, D, page header appears within the top right corner. Is it APA? Yes, it is. So, the answer is letter D. So, as you can see, this is the basic form of APA format. Di ba? We have the running head. We have the 0.5 inches here and double space siya every di ba? And then 12 point times New Roman. That's the basics, di ba? The page header appears within the top margin of the every page of the paper, di ba? For student papers, the page header consists of the page number only. Sa mga professional papers naman, the page header consists of the page number and running head. Diba? Ito yung ginagamit natin with research sa professional papers. The page header appear within the top margin of every page paper. Yan. For student, professional, it varies. Sa page number, follow these guidelines to include page number in both students at sa professional APA style patterns, diba? Gumagamit tayo ng page numbering function of your word processing program to insert page numbers. Insert page number in all tops sa taas ng right corner. The page number should all show on all pages. And the title page carries page number 1. Next question. Ito yung customary code ng polite behavior sa society among members of particular professional group. So, customary code. Wag malilito. Okay? What is the answer? It's not values, it's not moral, it's not standard. It's etiquette. Okay? Ay, may etiquette. Ito, napaka-polite naman ito. When in specific group of professional or people. Ito na mga ganito, nakakatamad to basahin, no? Pero pag bulisa, huwag mo tamad din basahin. Malay mo, pagbasa mo, maiintindihan mo din, di ba? Okay, it provides that only nationals of foreign countries in which the requirements for licensure or registration in the practice of criminology are substantially the same as those required and contemplated by the Philippine laws and regulation, which laws and regulations allow Philippine citizens to practice criminology within the territory of such foreign country shall be allowed to take the Philippine criminologist licensure examination. So, anong tawag doon? That is foreign reciprocity. Parang walang iniwan na sa bar exam nung board exam natin. We also have canons na din, di ba? Okay. Alin dito yung mga qualitative research? Alin dito? How and why? Kasi your, the experiences, the perceptions of the people. Pag quanti kasi, that's more on numbers. Diba? Pag how and why, paano, naramdaman mo? Bakit? Na ganyan, diba? And you're gonna, Yun, susulat yung experiences and perception ng tao. That's qualitative research. Pag sabi mong qualitative research is a process of real-life inquiry. Yung mga nararamdaman na experience ng mga tao to understand the social phenomena. Nagpo-focus siya sa bakit at paano rather than ano sa mga social phenomena. Diba? Pag qualitative research, ito yung explanatory at hinahanap niya yung paliwanag kung bakit at paano nga, diba? Na sa particular phenomenon or ugali na nag-o-offer it in a particular context. Ginagamit din to para mag-generate ng hypothesis and theories from the data. Pag qualitative research methods are about kung paano niya dinidescribe or ina-analyze yung phenomena galing sa isang perspective ng isang tao. Charlie Mango cannot adapt to the culture of the rich in his neighborhood. He migrated and chose to live with the people with the same status as him. An independent subculture form is that is defiant and against the conventional rules of society. What is the belief that argues that crime is product of incompatible culture that the rich and poor have? Ito yung mga substandard, di ba? Kasi hindi niya nga kaya mag-adapt sa kultura ng mga mayayaman, niyang kapitbahay, kaya nag-migrate siya at pumili manirahan sa mga taong may katulad niya ng status sa pamumuhay. So, there is independent subculture na nabuo. So, ano yung tawag sa ganun? That is culture conflict na. Diba? C. This theory is sinasuggest nito na ang krimen is hindi siya nakabase lang sa mechanical manner, but rather sa impluensya ng maraming factors such as biological, psychological, and social factors. Ano yung theory na yun? That is positivist theory. Ang positivist theory of punishment ay nakabase sa ideya na ang krimen ay isang social o natural phenomenon. Diba? At dahil dito, hindi pwedeng itrato or i-check na application sa mga standard principles ng batas at jurisprudence. At hindi rin sa mga imposition ng mga punishment katulad ng mga na-determine or mga punishment na dati. Instead, kailangan i-address yung mga ganito sa enforcement ng or pag-iimbestiga mismo sa tao kung bakit niya nagawa yung isang krimen, di ba? Pwede tayong magpa-check up sa mga psychiatrists o mga social scientists. At itong teorya na to ay sinasuggest na rin na ang krimen ay hindi lang nakabase sa free will or mechanical manner. Bagkus, ito ay na-impluensya ng maraming factors kung bakit niya nagagawa ang krimen dahil na rin sa kanyang nararamdamang biological, psychological, at mga ibang social factors. Charlie Mango falsely claims to have been robbed or assaulted to receive insurance, money, or to avoid punishment for a crime he committed. So, anong tawag doon? That is imaginary victimization. Diba? Dahil po sa mga rich has been able to accumulate wealth and power through exploitation of working class and the manipulation of political system. Anong tawag dun? Yan ang kapitalismo. Okay? Ay, maririnig sa palabas kaya ayoko ng kapitalismo eh. Maganda tong bansang to, kapitalismo, maraming mga kapitalista, mga ganyan, di ba? So, yun ang capitalism. Which theory in criminal law has focused on punishment and retribution rather than treatment, the rehabilitation? Ano yung theory anong tawag sa theory ng criminal law na to na nakafocus sa punishment kaysa sa paggalingin o i-treat, di ba, yung taong may sakit kaya nakakagawa ng krimen? Alam na yan, classical. Kaya nga ating revised penal code, halong positivist, halong classical. Pero mas maraming classical, diba? Which of the following is the classicist? Alin dito ang classicist? They are rational thinker and they know the consequence of their action. That the classical, diba? Classicist. There are physical characteristics of criminal propensities. Hindi yan. They cannot practice their free will due to their mental disturbances. Hindi rin yan. A child who cannot distinguish what is right and wrong? Hindi rin yan. So, classicists, sa classical theory, feeling nila at tingin nila lahat ng tao ay rational thinker to know the consequence of their action, kaya pinaparusahan sila. Okay? Pero, hindi yun totoo. Hindi naman lahat ng tao ay classicists. Okay? Ang sagot doon, ha? This theory argues that criminal commits a crime due to biological, psychological, and sociological factors. Ano yun? That is positivist. Ulit na lang yan. C. A theory that claims that crime is a function of dispute between the lower and the higher class of the society. So, anong tawag dun sa theory na yun? No? May disputes daw sa lower and higher class of the society. That is social conflict. A pregnant woman who habitually drinks alcohol at nagtitik pa ng droga ay syempre maapektuhan ng kanyang chance sa loob ng sinapupunan niya. It may fall into what perspective theory of crime causation? Diba? Anong perspective yan kung, di ba sa crime causation yan yung nagiging cause ng crime, di ba? Dahil si baby, habang pinagbubuntis ni mama, ay nagtitake ng droga itong sinanay at nainom ng alak. So, ano siyang perspective sa crime causation? That is C, ha? That's biochemical. Ito, let's go back with crime causation. Classical choice perspective, diba? Situational forces, okay? Crime is function of free will and personal choice. Punishment is deterrent to crime. Pag biological, psychological perspective, may internal force, no? Sa crime is function of chemical, neurological, genetic, personality, intelligence, or mental traits. Pag structural perspective siya, ecological forces, diba? Crime rates, function ng neighborhood condition, kaya marami nakakuha ng krimen, cultural forces, at norm conflict. Pag process perspective, ito yung socialization forces. Crime is function ng upbringing or learning and control. Peers, mga magulang at teachers na na-impluensya ng behavior ng isang tao. Pag conflict perspective naman, ito yung about economical and political forces. Ang crime is a function of competition for limited resources and power. Class, conflict produces crime. Okay? Developmental perspective, multiple forces to. Biological, social, psychological, and economic and political forces may combine to produce the crime. Pag biosocial, katulad ng sinabi kanina, yung si mother, pinagbubuntis niya si baby, na in droga at ng alak, it seeks to explain the onset of antisocial behavior such as aggression. Ay, di ba yung biochemical pala yung kanina? Ito, biosocial, sorry. Violence by focusing on the physical qualities of offender. Di ba? It concentrates mainly on the three areas of focus. Pag biochemical, diet yan ha. Yung kinakain niya, genetic, hormones, environmental contaminants. Pag neurological, brain damage, and genetic is inherent. Okay? Biochemical standard by social perspective. Next question. Ano ang nag-refer sa Republic Act 6713? Alam nyo na yan, diba? That is the professional conduct and ethical standards of public official or employees. Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, diba? As a law enforcer of enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peace against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all men, courageous, calm in face of my danger, scorn or ridicule, develop self-restraint. Ang haba. What you have to just remember is the unsullied and scorn or ridicule kasi it been used as a question, diba, in board exam. Okay, next question. In 5 P's of crisis management, di ba? Which of the following ay hindi kasama sa prevention measures? Alin dito hindi kasama? A. Alert system precaution upon striking of crisis. Kasama siya di ba? B. Active passive measures to prevent uncertain in times of crisis. Kasama to, di ba? C. Actual implementation of plan in case of crisis. Ito yung hindi kasama. Okay? So, not included sa prevention measure kasi nag-implement ka na, di ba? Dapat prevention measures muna. So, letter C ang hindi kasali. Okay? Okay. Next question, in crisis management, alin sa mga sumusunod ay hindi rason to change the plan in the crisis hazard happen? Marami tayong ganyan-ganyan kayo, medyo malilito kayo, di ba? Hindi daw rason para palitan yung plano agad-agad pag may crisis or hazard na nangyari. Di ba? Tingnan natin letter D. Always change the plan according to the places of operation. Is it not the reason? Is the reason. Diba? Reason to para mapalitan natin plano. Kasi kung iba yung place ng operation, syempre, ibahin mo yun. Diba? May SOP para doon. Diba? Kung nangyari ang operation sa closed building, o nangyari siya sa dagat, o nangyari siya sa sasakyan, iba-iba. So, iba-iba yung plano. Okay? C. Change the original plan if it does not relevant to the present situation. Ano? Not reason ba to? Reason to. Papalitan mo yung plano kapag hindi siya relevant sa present situation. Kung ang plano is pang ano siya, pang ganitong lugar or pang ganitong ano. Bawa kung ang plano is wala tayong VIP na hostage sa loob, di ba? May VIP. So hindi siya relevant sa present situation, di ba? So 'yan. Kaya, hindi ito yung sagot. Letter B, change the plan only if the original plan is not effective. Okay? It is the reason. Okay? Reason to para mag-change tayo ng plan. Kasi kung yung original plano naman ay hindi naman effective, di ba? Nakita natin talagang mananakit yung hostage taker. Hindi siya yung nangyayari as we expect. We have to change the plan, di ba? So, ito ang hindi rason para i-change mo ang plan sa isang crisis is kapag change the chief of police when crisis occurred. Diba? Pinalitan yung chief of police, hindi naman ito yung reason para palitan yung plano natin. So, the answer here is letter A. Very good. Let's change the chief of police when crisis occurred. Kakape muna ako, ha? Dami pa pala to. Sige, tuloy natin. Ang dami pa pala. If the parties fail to have an amicable settlement and need legal action, then they have to proceed to which of the following? Kapag hindi sila nagkabati pa rin, ano yung next? Ha? That is the litigation ang next. Okay? Which of the following is correct when writing the title of the table in APA format? So, dito yung tama. Kapag ginagawa natin yung title ng table in APA format. So, ang tama dito is kailangan left alignment at naka-italize. Italicize. Okay? Naka-italic. Tapos left alignment siya. Okay? A, ang sagot. Authors in parenthetical in text citation should be done in following manner. So, ang sagot is on the last part of the sentence within the parenthesis. Ito yung mga information. Next question tayo ha. Ito yung mga information na kinolect, inobserve, at generate natin para makagawa tayo ng isang validate research. So, sagot is B, data. Okay? Research data is any information that has been collected, observed, generate, or create to validate original research findings. As social work researchers, ay gusto niyang ma-understand what it means to be first-generation college student or resident in psychiatric group home. In this case, ano yung appropriate strategy niya para mag-conduct siya ng research? So, that is descriptive. Okay? Kasi, more on, ano yan, parang quali yan, ha? Pag exploratory research kasi, typically early stage nito examining their topics, diba? Usually, kinakonduct to ng researcher kung gusto niyang matest yung feasibility ng conducting conducting a more extensive study in to figure out the lay of the land, current situation, with respect sa particular topic. There is very little literature on this topic. Kasi it seeks to explain diba? Konti lang mga RR dito. So, very little prior research has been conducted on the subject, and usually kinakonduct when a researcher has just begun an investigation, wishes to understand the topic generally. For example, an exploratory study may be suitable step toward understanding the relatively new phenomenon of college student addiction to their electronic gadgets. So, ganon. Pag descriptive research, ini-aims niya ma-describe or ma-define yung topic at hand. Describe or define a particular phenomenon, answer the question what, where, how, who, and what but never why. Pag explanatory research, na-explain dito yung particular phenomena in what they do. Okay? Explain why particular phenomena work in a way. And sinasagutan nila yung mga questions na why. Kasi nga, explain Okay, next question. Which of the following should not be put in abstract? Alin dito yung mga dapat hindi natin ilalagay sa abstract? Very good. Letter D, citing the names of the authors. Hindi yan nilalagay sa abstract ng research. Okay? Alin sa mga sumusunod ang pinaka-importante natin makonsider kung gagawa tayo ng research? Okay? Kasi baka may mga malabag tayong ethical issues, diba? So, ang pinaka-importante talaga dyan is makahingi tayo ng consent sa mga respondents natin bago tayo makagawa ng interview. Okay, ha? Hindi pwedeng kandak ng interview tapos nagbigay ka ng bigas o pera. Sasabihin mo na, okay, pumayag sila. You have to seek talaga consent. Maganda sa atin in a written way. Okay? So, that's the letter B. Importante yan. The consent of respondents before conducting an interview. What is the perspective that combines the theory of genetics and behavior of mind? Aling perspective yon? Pinag-combine mo yung genetics tsaka yung utak, diba? Yung behavior ng utak mo. That is biopsychology. Very good. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of registered criminologist? Kung ba okay, ikaw papasa ka sa board exam, ano na ngayon ang primary responsibility mo ngayon? Of course, the primary responsibility would be letter D, to uphold the law. Okay? Which of the following is the ground for suspension of rights of parents to their child? Ano yun? That is civil interdiction. Doon lang po nasususpend yung karapatan ng parents sa kanilang mga anak with civil interdiction. Ito yung phenomena na nangyayari kapag that devastated and left the whole community in chaos. Which of the following best refers to the situation? Yung buong komunidad na ay nasa talaga? Dilema na, no? Ano yung phenomena na yun? That is letter B, the natural or hazard risk. There shall be only one IC holding at least a senior rank and or add with the experience in hostage crisis situation. Okay? Or relative training, balik tayo sa hostage taking, crisis management, until such time na he or she has been officially designated as spokesperson. So, he may issue appropriate press statement and continue to perform the role of spokesperson. The IC shall upon assess the following situation. Kailangan tingnan niya yung sitwasyon at mag-prepare siya ng mga necessaryong plano sa mga sumusunod na ito. Okay? Number 1, emergency response plan. Diba? Naka-refers to sa threat na pwedeng maibigay ng isang hostage taker at pangangailangan ng HNT at ng IC. Kailangan may breakout plan din ito, no? Ito yung breakout plan, ibig sabihin nito yung posibilidad ng breakout shall be considered immediately upon drawing up of negotiation strategies. This should be considered as one of the priority plans. Pag delivery plan sa mga hostage takers, magbabago ng plano in the middle of execution, diba? That's delivery plan. Pag surrender plan shall be drawn up in a way na hostage taker lives will be jeopardized. Okay? Hostage reception release. For security reason, release hostage shall be contained and isolated. Collection plan, safety of the police personnel involved in the priority consideration. Sa PNP alert level during man-made critical incidents, ang revised Philippine National Police Operation Procedure ang susundin. That's 2013. Posits 4 alert level during human-induced or man-made critical incident. Ang appropriate man-made critical alert level shall be determined to all concerned forces through the Philippine National Police National Operations Center. Ito yung mga sumusunod. Pag sinabi mong level 1, low pa lang yan. Wala pa pong information na sinasuggest to a specific man-made critical incident may occur. Pag level 2, moderate, man-made critical incident is possible but not likely. Pag level 3 high, there is a strong possibility na yung man-made critical incident ay pwedeng mangyari sa maiksing panahon o agad-agad na siyang mangyari within possible time. Pag level 4 extreme, a man-made critical incident ay nangyari na or just been preempted or incidents are exempted. Sa PNP stages ng disaster management, the revised Philippine National Police Operation Procedure o 2013 ay ini-introduce ang 3 levels or stage ng National Disaster Management. Ito yung mga sumusunod. Pag level 1, that's green, that's pre-disaster stage. Pag level 2 red, that's disaster report stage. It is when there is an official forecast of an oncoming natural disaster and the country. And when unexpected natural disaster suddenly occurs in country, this is where the disaster incident management activities are done. Pag level 3, that's white, post-disaster stage, tapos na halos, it is natural disaster officially over, tapos na. And support to recovery and rehabilitation efforts are being done. Medyo madami, huwag nyo kabisaduhin lahat kasi masisiraan tayo niyan, di ba? Ang gawin nyo, i-coding-coding nyo na lang, ha? Ito yung definition ng crisis management: process in which an organization deals with a major event threatens to the harm of organization or general public. It is simply defined as good management under pressure. Okay? Kailangan even you're under pressure in the middle of crisis, you should execute a good management. Ito rin tamang pag-utilize sa lahat ng available resources na meron ka to formulate policies o polisiya at mga procedure sa effective deal with the progressive sequence of events, crises, and sudden or unforeseen state or emergency. So, dealing with threats after they have been occurred, crisis management is occasionally referred as incident management. Essential elements of crisis management. There are two primary essential elements. Dalawa lang naman yung primary niyan. At ito yung incident management at consequence management. Pag sinabi mong incident management, ito yung act of containing the situation within a certain level, mostly through the law enforcement intervention. Pag consequent management, ito yung act na nagfo-focus siya sa mitigating or mabawasan mo yung hindi magandang epekto na ginawa or nadala, naging effect ng isang insidente na yon. At ma-achieve to pag ni-utilize mo yung mga non-law enforcement elements such as medical and fire services. Okay? So, isa incident management, i-manage mo pag andyan yung insidente, consequence yung tapos na. Pero may mga naiwan pang epekto, yung mga nasugatan, na deadlock, umapoy. So, paano mo yan mamamanage yung consequence nun? Meron tayong crisis management committee, di ba? Ito yung parang body siya. Nag-detect, sila yung gumagawa ng mga decision para ma-resolve mo yung mga crisis emergency. Ang goal po ng pag-formulate ng crisis management policies, integration. Ito yung ginagamit ng gobyerno at yung efforts ng publiko para makontrol mo yung crisis management. Bakit merong efforts ng publiko? Kasi di ba yung budget naman ng government galing sa public eh. So, tulungan ang dating, di ba? Ang miyembro po ng crisis management committee ay inelect po at inappoint po ng public official. Inelect na public official sila na meron silang special na responsibilidad na protektahan ang ating lipunan at yung mga ma-manage din nila yung mga hindi magandang consequence na nangyari because of that crisis. Important note po ng mga member ng Crisis Management Committee ay accountable. And not only proper authority but also to the people. Diba? Sila may accountability. The 5 critical tasks po ng CMC, yung sense making, diba? Decision making, meaning making, terminating, and learning. Here are the phases of crisis management. We have the proactive phases and the reactive phases. Pag proactive phases is prediction, prevention, and preparation. Proactive, wala pa dyan yung problema, wala pa dyan yung crisis. Pag reactive, magre-react na sila kasi andyan na yung crisis. Performance and post-action and assessment. Sa hostage situation, ito yung set ng circumstance wherein a suspected law violator is holding a person. May hawak-hawak na tao. Hinuli, kinulong, at ginagamit nila ang lakas nila at panakot nila para mahingi nila yung gusto nila, 'di ba? Hostage situation, hostage taking ang dating, 'di ba? may huli sila, may kinulong, di ba? Ito yung mga stages ng hostage situation. Una, alarm, di ba? Ito yung stage na kung saan may most traumatic and dangerous to. Ikalawa yung crisis stage, di ba? It's still great deal of danger since hostage taker try to consolidate their possession. Their isolation, claustrophobia, and sense of time hostages. Sa crisis stage kasi, ito yung sinasabi nila na meron silang hinostage, sinasabi nila yung sitwasyon namin dito sa loob. They're trying to communicate, diba? Accommodation stage, ito na yung nangyayari na naboboard na. Ito yung medyo tumatagal na, may terror, may takot, kalmado. At yung Stockholm Syndrome nangyayari na dito Yung naaawa na sila dun sa nag-hostage sa kanila, 'di ba? Resolution stage, ito yung yung hostage taker na worn out na siya sa tagal niya doon sa loob. Nasa stress na siya, napapatik na siya sa situation. Yung dito rin nangyari yung tension ng hostage taker at mga hostages ay bumababa na rin. So, crisis intervention technique of negotiation team has been increased. So, yung negotiation team for the crisis intervention, pasok, yung mga nagne-negotiate. Malakas na ang pasok ng mga negotiation team, nagne-negotiate dito. Most likely, tinatanggap na ng mga hostage taker kasi nga, because of the worn out. Ano ang primary responsibility ng isang registered criminologist? Tandaan nyo to bear faithful alliance to the Republic of the Philippines at maging loyal sa kanyang profession. Yan ang primary responsibility ng isang registered criminologist. That's letter B. Oh my gosh! Para na tayong attorney, we have canon. Sa Canon 1, primary responsibility. Under Rule 1, ito na yung fundamental and basic responsibility ng registered criminologist. To bear fruitful alliance sa Republika ng Pilipinas. Ang Rule 2 naman, under Canon 1, ay irespeto mo ang rule of law at legal process. Ang Rule 3 ng Canon 1 ay continuously na-improve mo ang skills mo at kumuha ka ng skills at knowledge sa ibang mga practice at profession. Grabe, no? Pang lawyer ning atake natin, diba? Ang findings sa isang registered criminologist can be very well get on an innocent man free or convict those who are guilty. Diba? Kaya, mahalaga talaga na magandang findings mo, diba? Kasi pwede mo ka makakulong, pwede mong maikulong ang inosenteng tao at mapalaya ang hindi inosente. Alin sa mga sumusunod na criteria ang kailangang gamiting guide ng criminologist para magawa niya ang kanyang findings? Hindi niya gagamitin. Okay? Ang hindi niya dyan gagamitin ay yung A, na kailangan siyang mag-conform sa goals and objective ng prosecution. Kasi mostly, ang gagawin na lang niya, kung ano yung findings ng prosecution, findings mo na din para hindi ka mapahiya. Pero hindi dapat yun ang criteria mo. Okay? We have Canon 3. Angas, no? Ang attorney dating, no? Parang ethics ng, so nyo may ethics na tayo. Yung pang subject ng lawyer kasi may canon din yung kaloka talaga, no? Ma-sense na. Canon 3, attitude towards the profession. We have Rule 1, to make the best application of science in prevention and solution of crime. That's the Rule 1. Rule 2 is to value the importance of profession and honorable service. The Rule 3 is ma-avoid natin yung mga impluensya sa labas by overzealous and disgruntled parties. And this finding shall be based solely in logical and scientific deduction and conclusion. And Rule 4, under Canon 3, is they shall only work sa katotohanan and nothing and ultimately truth and justice. Another question. Ang registered criminologist must be mindful of his special identification with the public as an upholder of the law. For achieve this, what should be done? So, he must never be lax in conduct of manner in private life, express disrespect of law, not seek to gain a special privilege that will reflective upon the profession. Kasi mapapahiya yung profession natin as criminologist kung gagawa ka rin ng hindi maganda, di ba? And kailangan nating may pakita sa public yung ating, alam mo yon, ating pagkakilanlan bilang criminologist na kapita-pitagan, kagalang-galangan, criminologist, anak ng bayan. So, yon Kaya ipakita mo yung pati sa iyong pamumuhay. Okay? So, A, ang sagot dyan. We have the Canon Life, Private Conduct, diba? Canon 5, Rule 1, mindful of their special identification by the public, by the upholder of the law. Diba? Kahit sa private life mo, ipakita mo na isa kang kagalang-galangan. Diba? Rule 2, elevate the standing of the profession in the public mind. Si Peter, a question document examiner, was employed to determine the authenticity of the testator holographic will. In determining his remuneration, which canon professional ethics of registered criminology should be applied? That's B. Canon 8, practice of profession. Letter B sagot dito, ha? Here we go with Canon 8, practice of profession, under Rule 1. Exercise the profession with utmost skills and competence. Rule 2, in charging profession fees, it shall be reasonable and commensurate to the service rendered. Rule 3, shall be prepared for heroic sacrifice and genuine selfless personnel, in carrying out their profession expense for personal duties and expense of personal gain. John included in his resume na he is an expert dactyloscopy. Although, ang kanyang training lang ay he was only taking up criminology as an undergraduate course. Which canon violate the professional ethics of registered criminologists? Did he violate? Diba? Biruin mo, sasabihin mo, dactyloscopy expert ka, and ang training mo lang is criminology undergraduate course. Kung may na-violate ka man, ano yung na-violate mo? Ano yon? Ano ang na-violate po ni John? Ang na-violate niya is prohibition against self-laudatory or unfair statement of claim regarding to his qualification of service. Diba? We have Canon 9 here. This is malpractice of profession. Sa Rule 1, never engage directly or indirectly in any conduct which is unlawful, dishonest, and deceitful practices. Rule 3, not delegate to any unqualified person the performance of any task. Number 4, Rule 4, Canon 9 is, shall not use possession or rank to promote favor or advance their private practice or best interest. We have Rule 5, separate investigates, and a convict of crime involving moral turpitude shall be separate investigate to determine his or her fitness to practice criminology profession. And Rule 6, shall not refuse to admit prospective clients by reason of poverty and the like. Hindi ka tatanggap ng client dahil mahirap, bawal yun, di ba? The registered criminologist shall recognize the system of government that gives no one or group of absolute power. So we have Canon 7, that's B, limitation of authority. We have here Code of Ethics and Responsibility of our canon in criminology. We have, may canon na tayo ha, may canon na tayo, baka malimutan nyo. I'm gonna do a separate video on explaining our canon here. Yan. Also have our article here. Ano na ako nito ng paliwanag ko sa aking separate video kung hindi ako nagkakamali sa aking yung video ko nun is Theory of Crime Causation. So yeah, thank you for listening. Sana pumasa po tayo lahat. And mabuhay po.